Dramas of the Court. The law awards and the law punishes. Presenting true-life jury trials. Stories in fictionized form, typical of the unfolding human dramas of the court. Tonight, the man with the missing finger.
Extra, cat burglar scores again. Daring six-story climb for rich jewel hole. Paper, read all about it. Cat burglar scores again. Six-story climb for rich jewel hole. Paper.
The newsboys were howling it all through the city as I made my way to work. Gus Greenwood gets all the big headaches in that branch of the New York Police Department. I thought to myself, poor old Gus. You're in for it again, fella. Only I didn't really feel sorry for him. Just a bit smug that for once in a while it wasn't me who was going to get it in the neck. So you can imagine how I felt when, before I'd even have time to put my feet on the desk, the chief came sailing into the office and said,
Richard, it's about time these cat burglaries stopped. We've got to do something.
Sure, Chief, but why come to me? I seem to remember there's a guy in this outfit by the name of Gus Greenwood.
Never mind, Greenwood. This is your baby.
Mine? As of when?
As of right now.
Oh, but Chief,
Don't argue. I got Gus tied up on other things, more important stuff. Can't afford to waste him on a straight job like this.
Well, thanks, Chief. You're just the boy to put a shot in the old morale.
Now, just listen to me, Fitchett. I want this human fly caught. I want him caught quick. It's up to you.
Okay. I'll go bring him in right away. Who is he? Where does he live? What's he look like?
The only time you're funny, Lieutenant, is when you don't try. Suppose you curb that brilliant wit of yours, and we'll see if we can talk this over sensibly.
Well, I just thought that maybe you...
Don't think, just listen. This guy started operations about 6 months ago. Since then, he's pulled no less than 23 jobs. An average of almost one a week.
You'll be having the CIO down on him for working overtime.
In the last month alone, he's been responsible for 7 robberies.
As many as that, eh? All wall-crawling jobs?
Yeah. Nothing seems to stop him. One was a 10th-story apartment. To get to the window and let himself in, he had to crawl or climb 18 feet along a 10-inch ledge with a straight drop in front of him of 120 feet.
I sure hope if I ever run across this guy, I don't have to chase him anywhere.
It seems obvious to me. Must have been a circus or a vaudeville performer at some time. An acrobat, maybe, or more likely still, a wire walker. That ought to give you a lead of some sort.
Oh, sure. I don't suppose there'd be more than 5 or 10,000 of them in the United States. Got a list of the jobs he's pulled, Chief?
Yeah. Here it is. Full details in every case. Date and place of robbery, approximate time, victim's name, and full list of items stolen. We're keeping a close check on all known fences, but none of the hot stuff's come to light yet.
I see here on the 19th of September he pulled 2 jobs in one night. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
But it don't fit. Now, here's a Mrs. Ballmeyer of Park Avenue. She says she saw a shadowy figure scrambling out of her window at 2:20 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And over here's a Mrs. Stuyvesant, right over on 42nd Street. She says she was returning home about 2:30 a.m. when she saw a man emerge from a side alley and disappear. When she went upstairs, her apartment was ransacked. No one guy could do it in the time. There must be 2 of them, Chief. They're either partners or working independently.
Well, we figured that for a while, too. But then we came to the conclusion that in the excitement, one of the women must have got her times wrong.
Why?
Well, mainly because the technique in every one of these robberies is exactly the same. Genuine cat burglars as clever as this guy only come once in a while. There's not one instance on the records of 2 of them working at the same time.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And another thing. All his victims are drawn from the one class, what the columnists call cafe society. Now, our theory is this guy himself spends all his time in night spots. He waits till he sees a woman nicely loaded with the right kind of ice, Then he tails her home, locates her apartment, gives her time to settle down to sleep, and goes to work.
So all I've got to do is find an ex-circus performer who hangs around nightclubs, eh?
That's all.
Sounds just too easy.
Oh, sure. Nothing to it. That's why this guy's been in our hair 6 months now. And we don't even have a line on him.
If all that was needed to locate him was hanging around nightclubs, I should have landed him in quick time. For the next fortnight, I was never out of my tux. My expense account looked more like that of an advertising executive. I met a lot of interesting people. Some of them I recognized by their portraits in the newspapers, and some by their photos in the files at headquarters. But I didn't meet any superannuated wire walkers. I put my sidekick, Al Hickson, onto compiling a file of past and present vaudeville acrobats and so on. To start him off right, I went along with him myself to interview our first theatrical agent.
Acrobats, tumblers, wire walkers. We don't have so many on our books nowadays. Variety is not what it used to be, you know. I couldn't rustle up more than a dozen of them right this minute, not even if you begged me on your knees.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as that. You're not my type. Let me have the pictures and details of all you've got, will you?
Okay, I got them right here in this file. Yeah. Here we are. You want both sexes or only men?
Well, you better toss them all in for good measure.
Right.
Well, make a note, Al, and take charge of the stuff.
Okay, boss.
This lot you've given me are people who are still in show business, I take it, right?
That's so, Lieutenant.
How about the others you've handled? Guys who've given it away or gone into some other line.
How far back?
Oh, 5, 10, dozen years, maybe. Would you have them still?
I don't know offhand, you see. Every 2 or 3 years, we take a week off to go right through our files. Most of the dead stuff we toss out. Still, there might be some kicking around. I got a lot of junk lying around out in the back room. Give me time and I'll go through it.
Oh, that's just swell, boss, isn't it? I'll come back one day next week.
The heck you will. You'll come back tomorrow morning.
I don't know whether I could get around to it as soon as that.
You never can tell till you try. And just remember, mister, it's the police department, not a downtown burlesque joint you're dealing with.
Could I forget it?
Another week went by and nothing happened. Except by now, Al Hickson was collecting a supersized file on Vordax that, as far as I could see, didn't tell us a thing. I began to think that maybe the guy, whoever he was, had seen me in a couple of the night spots, guessed who I was and why I was there, and decided to lay low for a while. Then, just as I got nicely off to sleep one night, the phone rang. It was the chief.
Yeah?
The chief here, Fitchett.
Oh, yeah, Chief.
Fitchett, you'd better take a run over to Berkeley Mansions, 148A Riverside Drive. Talk with a Mrs. Margot Van Marston.
Who's she, Chief?
With your intimate knowledge of cafe society, I'd have thought you and she'd be buddies by now.
What does she look like?
How should I know? I only talked to her on the phone 5 minutes ago. It seems she's had an uninvited visitor.
The cat burglar?
You catch on quick.
I'll be there in 5 minutes. Well, 10 anyway.
Okay. Make with the Superman routine if you have to, so long as you get there quick.
I gathered up Al on the way. We were there in half an hour, which wasn't bad, considering. As it happens, I had seen this Mrs. Van Marston a couple of times at the Stork Club in El Morocco and joints like that. She was the type, once seen, never forgotten. Early 30s, smallish, neat, blonde with blue eyes. Lucky guy, Mr. Van Marston, I thought. Then I changed my mind. Not so lucky. She was a widow. And what she had to tell me was interesting.
I'll take it from the beginning, Lieutenant. I was at the Flamingo Club this evening. That's a nightclub, you know.
Yes, you don't have to tell me, lady. I'm on speaking terms with all of them.
Oh, well, anyhow, I was there with a friend.
Name?
Eddie Markinson.
Oh, yeah. Broadway producer, isn't he?
Yes, that's right.
Make a note of that, Al.
Okay, boss.
I'm sorry to interrupt, lady. Go on.
I was tired, so we left about 1 o'clock. We took a cab home here. My friend came in for a nightcap, and then he left, and I went to bed.
What time would that be?
Oh, a little after 2, perhaps. I suppose I was asleep by 1:30. Anyhow, I woke suddenly. It was dark, but I was conscious there was someone in the room. Whoever it was seemed to be at my dressing table.
What'd you do?
I switched on the bedside lamp.
Weren't you scared, lady?
Of course I was scared,
Why didn't you draw a gun on her?
because I didn't have one.
Then why didn't you...
Oh, pipe down, Al. Who's conducting this investigation?
I only thought...
Pipe down, I said. Just do your best to ignore him, Mrs. Van Marston. Well, you turned on the lamp. What then?
He sprung straight at me. I tried to fight, but he was much too strong. He bound and gagged me.
What with?
This cord.
Where'd he find that?
It doesn't belong here. He must have carried it in his pocket. Anyhow, he bound and gagged me, stuffed his pockets with things from my dressing table.
Jewelry and so on?
Yes. And then he went out the window and disappeared. I don't know how he could have possibly done it. It's a 6-story drop from here, but anyhow, that's how he went.
And how he got in, too, no doubt.
It took me ages to free myself. Half an hour at least. I rang the police department right away and spoke to the commissioner, who said he'd send a man over. And that's the whole story.
Do you know what's been stolen?
I've made out as complete a list as I can remember. Rings, dress and hair clips, earrings, a couple of bracelets, and a string of pearls. Also about $100 in cash. Here it all is, written down.
Thank you. That's awfully helpful of you. Take charge of it, Al.
Okay, boss.
Now, the guy. Did you get enough of a look at him to give me his description?
Well, he was dark and swarthy, a bit under average height, but thick-set and powerful.
Age?
I could only guess at that. 35, 40 perhaps.
How was he dressed?
Slacks and a polo neck sweater. I remember especially he had no coat.
Was there anything else particular you noticed that you think might help us at all?
Well, yes, there was one thing.
Let's hear it.
He wore gloves, of course. That was to avoid fingerprints, I suppose. But I did notice that one of his fingers was missing. I couldn't be positive, but I'm almost sure it was the second finger of the left hand. Do you think that might help?
Lady, you practically put the guy behind bars.
We will return in a moment to continue the story of the man with the missing finger. But first, your announcer. We continue the story of the man with the missing finger.
Back at headquarters, Al and I spent a busy morning among the records. Guys with second finger left hand missing don't come too often. But even a cop gets a lucky break occasionally. Around noon, we got onto something hot.
Here, listen to this one, boss. Grazino. Antonio, in brackets Tony, age 27. This is dated 1938. That'd make him, let me see now.
Skip the higher mathematics, Einstein. Just go on telling me what it says.
Okay. Height 6 to 7 inches, weight 151. Complexion swarthy, eyes brown. Special identification marks. Second finger of left hand amputated below first joint.
Sounds like it could be him. What's his record?
One conviction, Frisco, 1928. 12 months for breaking and entering. Paroled after 3 months and get a load of this, boss. Occupation, circus performer.
Now we're really getting someplace.
Here's his photo.
Well,
Seen him before?
half a dozen times in different night spots.
Yeah, looks like we're getting hot. Well, what are you going to do, boss? Bring him in and give him the old grill?
The trouble with you, Al, you've got no finesse. The description fits okay, but that doesn't mean a thing. He mightn't be the guy at all. Even if he is, should we put him on the guard right away by letting him know we suspect?
Yeah, but...
The first thing we do is locate him. Then we investigate him. What's his line of business? What's he been doing since 1938? Then, if we still think it's him, we get this Van Marston dame and the other one, Mrs. Stuyvesant, to...
Who's she?
Don't you remember anything? She's the one who saw a guy coming out of a side alley as she was going home one night.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Well, we get these two to give him a quiet look over. If they say it's him, then maybe we'll bring him in for a little conversation. take more than a couple of nights to locate our man. After that, it was strictly routine. Al did most of the legwork, so I'll let him tell you what we found.
The guy was Grazino, all right. We were able to get hold of a highball glass with his fingerprints on it, and they checked with Grazino's in the files. He was using a different name now, Tony Riccardi. Seems like he'd kept his nose clean ever since the Frisco business. He'd gotten into the advertising racket, selling space for a chain of magazines. We investigated his friends. They seemed in the clear. In fact, you'd have said, here was a guy who'd made one mistake. And he'd done a pretty good job of living it down since.
Well, that's how it seemed. Till we brought in both Mrs. Van Marston and Mrs. Stuyvesant. Mrs. Stuyvesant wouldn't swear a Bible oath on it, but she thought it was the same guy she'd seen. Mrs. Van Marston was considerably more certain. In fact, she had no doubt about it whatever. But even so, it'd take more than her identification to convince the jury. So I did the only possible thing. I put Al on tailing Grazino, and we waited. A week later, it happened. Fitchett here.
It's me, boss, Al. The balloon's gone up.
What do you mean?
I'm over at Washington Apartments, 184th Street.
What are you doing there?
I've been following Grazino. Honest, you wouldn't believe it unless you saw it with your own eyes.
Believe what?
The way that guy can scramble up an apartment building.
You mean to tell me he's on a job now?
Yeah. About a half a minute ago, I saw him climb into a 7-story window.
Well, what are you doing about it?
I've called in a couple of patrolmen, and we've got all the exits blocked. He can't get away. You'd better come right over.
Brother, I'm on my way. It was a clean cut. Grazino came quiet, but he didn't come clean. Not half as clean as I'd have liked.
Sure, I done a bit of cat work in the last couple of months. Why bother to deny it when you caught me cold? But you can't pin that whole list of jobs on me. No, sir. Nothing like it.
Oh, why not admit it, Tony? Won't make any difference to your sentence. You're going up for 5 years anyway.
Why should I admit what I ain't done?
Now, you don't have to be that way. If you come clean and help us, maybe you'll get a parole after a couple of years.
But I tell you, I never done all these jobs.
You admit the Stuyvesant one?
Yeah.
And the Balmar one?
No.
And the Von Marston one?
No.
There you are. That proves you're lying, Tony. You've been positively identified. Come on, give.
I never even heard of any Van Marston dame. You cops are all the same. Don't matter to you whether a guy's guilty or not. All you want is a nice little confession so you can tie the case up in red tape and forget it.
Now, listen, Tony, I'll make a deal with you. You talk now
I'm
and...
through with talking, Flatfoot. Next time I open my mouth, it'll be in court. And if I find you're trying to pin all these jobs on me and my lawyer will have plenty to say. Take my word.
In the end, we only charged him with the ones he'd admitted to. The evidence against him was clear. And when it was over, the judge put him out of circulation from 4 to 6 years. Al and I came back from court feeling pretty pleased with ourselves.
Hey, I reckon we did a nice job on that case, boss.
Oh, not bad, Al. Not bad at all.
And even if Grazino wouldn't admit to the rest of the jobs, at least we know we've got the right guy. The point is, while he's in the jug, there'll be no more cat burglaries. And I guess that's what really matters. That's our real job.
Edgar Hoover couldn't have said it better himself, Al.
Gee, thanks, boss. Oh, say, what am I going to do with all these pictures and dopes about wire walkers and so on? They're still coming in batches every day from Philadelphia and all points west. Reckon I ought to toss them out? They just clutter up our filing system.
Well, you might as well hang on to them for a while. Say, you ought to be an authority on them by now. You could write a book.
Yeah, maybe I will at that. Maybe I could get Chandler or Kane to ghost it for me. Now, there's an idea.
I did just what Grazino had said. I put all the dope together and I tied it round in a red ribbon like they do down at the DA's office. Then I tucked it away neatly in a pigeonhole. I'd just about forgotten the whole thing when all of a sudden everything broke at once. It seemed an ordinary, uneventful night when I hit the hay about midnight. About 3 a.m., the phone rang. Okay, I'm coming. Yeah, what do you want?
Is that you, Lieutenant?
Who do you think it is, Lana Turner?
I thought you might like to know. We've just had another cat burglary reported.
What?
Apartment house on 45th, the Ritz, a six-story job.
Is this on the level?
I value my job too much to pull a gag like this, Lieutenant. I got a wife and 3 kids.
Okay, give him my love. I'll dress and be right over. Why didn't I go into the soft goods business like my old man wanted? Where the heck's my shirt? Just somehow I had to be dragged out of bed. Oh, now, who the heck? Just a second.
You're up, boss.
Of course I'm up, you mutt. Who told you about it?
But what?
The cat job, of course.
You to say there's been another? Gosh. That kind of ties up with... Yeah, I see it all now.
Now, give me those shoes, will you?
Yeah.
Thanks. Say, listen, Al, if you didn't know about it, what are you here for anyway at this hour of the night?
Well, it had been worrying me for days. I knew I'd seen that face someplace. I couldn't sleep tonight, and I was lying in bed, and it came to me in a flash. Bingo, just like that.
Hand me my gun. What the heck are you talking about?
Well, like you said, I thought I might write a book about my cases. So I was going through all these pictures, and... Well, look for yourself, boss.
Holy mackerel.
Wire Walker says. Different name, of course. Looks just a kid, but...
Come on, Al.
Where are we going?
Down to the precinct for a warrant. Then we interview a certain party. The apartment we moved in on was empty when we got there. We let ourselves in, and there was no sign of any attempt to make a quick getaway. So we just sat quietly and waited. We didn't have to wait long. About 10 minutes later. Good evening.
Who's that? Oh, it's you, Lieutenant. And Mr. Hickson. Oh, you gave me such a fright. How did you get in here?
You weren't home, so we let ourselves in. I hope you don't mind.
I don't suppose it'd make any difference if I did.
Well, we have a warrant.
A warrant? Exactly what do you mean?
We're looking for Mitzi Lamar.
Oh.
You know where she is, Mrs. Van Marston?
Why,
You, what?
Well, this is just a little unexpected, that's all. You see, Mitzi Lamar was my stage name.
What did you do on the stage, Mrs. Van Marston?
I was in vaudeville, specialty act.
Walking a tightrope, for instance?
Well, yes, but I really don't see... I'm not ashamed that at one time in my life I had to earn my living in that way.
Pity you didn't stick to it.
What do you mean?
Maybe you wouldn't have gotten into trouble over a little cat burglary.
You mad? How dare you suggest that
You might as well talk. The jig's up, sister.
If you're not out of this apartment in 1 minute flat...
You'll what?
I'll telephone the district attorney.
Save yourself the nickel, girlie. You'll meet him tomorrow. You've been very smart, Mrs. Van Marston, if that's really your name, but not quite smart enough. Cat work comes easy to people who have the training you have, doesn't it? You've been doing very nicely for the last 6 months, lining up your clients at the smart nightclubs and then going to work.
This is absurd. Tony Grazino's already in jail.
Must have set you back quite a bit when Tony muscled in on your racket. Not that he realized it was yours, of course. Somebody else was doing it, and it seemed like a good idea, so he just took a hand himself. You recognized him from the old show business days. He wouldn't remember you, of course. You were just a kid then. Something in pigtails not worth noticing.
You're guessing all this.
Well, maybe. Anyway, Tony had muscled in on your territory, and you didn't like it. In fact, one particular night, while you were pulling a job in one place, he was doing likewise in another, and that was bad. So your next victim was none other than Margot Van Marston, namely and to wit yourself. Very smart, Mitzi. By a lucky chance, you were able to get a good look at this guy who came in and robbed you. This description helped us a lot, particularly the missing finger part. You knew we'd have no trouble picking Grazino up, and that's just how it turned out.
If you're through with tonight's fairy tale, you can say goodnight. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
We've got a nice little cot reserved for you at headquarters.
Don't you think this nonsense has gone far enough? You've built up an absurd case against me without a scrap of evidence.
That remains to be seen. No more than half an hour ago, a 6-story apartment on 45th Street was entered.
What's that got to do with me? I've been at the Flamingo all night. I came straight home. I can prove it.
Open her handbag, Al.
Okay, boss.
You've got a nerve.
Hand it over, sister.
You've no
I'm
right...
through asking, babe. Give.
Oh.
The strong, silent type are, Al. Anything there?
Lenny.
And boy, is it hot.
All right, Mitzi. Let's walk. Al still hasn't got around to writing that book. Says he hasn't time. I figure Mitzi might do the job for him. Time's just the commodity she's got plenty of at the moment. 4 years, in fact.
In a moment, I will return with further news of this series. But first, your announcer. Report to the judge. The judge departs. The jury is discharged. The judgment has been given. Another human story is over until the law of the land is challenged again, and we are privileged to hear once more at this time dramas of the court.
Dramas of the court. The law punished. Presenting true-life jury trials. Stories in fictionized form, typical of the unfolding human dramas of the court. Tonight, the case of the unknown tramp. Order in the court. The case begins.
It's here at last. The day of my trial. I, Nora Quinn, stand here in the dock charged with murder. The court is crammed with people. Everywhere I look, there are eyes staring at me. Inquisitive, sympathetic, contemptuous. The reporters are ready. Everyone will hear the name Nora Quinn. Everyone will read my story. That is what I want. What I have wanted for 20 years. To tell my story to the world. To let them do as they will with me.
Your Honor, I do not think that this case will take up much of the court's time. Very simple, straightforward case, as will be seen when the evidence unfolds. The accused, Nora Quinn, and her housekeeper, Bella Bowman, who, I understand, now lies seriously ill in hospital, lived together on a lonely farm in the hills. On the night of March the 1st last, a wandering tramp, whose identity cannot be established, called at the farmhouse to beg for food and shelter. These he was given, and we may take it for granted that he crept into the barn where he spent the night, thanking the kind women who had taken him in. Little knowing that during that night, one of these kind women would creep into the barn and with a single rifle shot end his life. And why? Why did she take his life? Sergeant Grant.
I examined the barn very carefully. There were some blankets in one corner. Close to the blankets was a lantern and a newspaper. I would say the deceased was lying down reading at the time he was disturbed.
Was there any sign of a struggle?
None at all.
Sergeant Grant will also say,
on the night of the murder, March the 1st last, we experienced one of the worst storms ever known in the district. It broke at approximately 6 p.m., and after that it would have been impossible for anyone to get to the farm. The storm continued until early morning.
And the approximate time of death, Sergeant?
9 o'clock, sir.
When the storm was at its worst?
Yes, sir.
We may take it then that at the time of the shooting, only the murdered man and the two women were present at the farm.
It would seem so.
There is little more to say, Your Honor. The rifle with which the unknown tramp was shot belonged to the accused and had her fingerprints only on it. When the police arrived next morning at the farm, brought there by the woman Lerner, the accused offered no explanation of the tragedy. And why? Because there was none to offer. Up to now, she's spoken no word in her defense. And I submit, Your Honor, that this silence is a clear indication of her guilt. This woman, Nora Quinn, is guilty, horribly guilty, of this senseless and unprovoked murder of a harmless and unknown tramp.
How little they know, these people who accuse and condemn. Oh, yes, I killed him. But I am guilty of no senseless crime. When you live with sorrow for 20 years, when it gets into your brain and your heart and your very soul, when lies and injustice have poisoned your existence for so long, and suddenly truth stands before you, waiting to be revealed, you must do something. Anything. Even murder. Soon I shall tell my story. And for once these people shall know the truth. The whole truth.
Mr. James, you've undertaken the defense of this woman?
Your Honor, I'm in a very difficult position. I've been appointed by the Crown to conduct the case of the defense, but despite every endeavor on my part, the accused has persistently refused to discuss the matter with me.
Yet she pleads not guilty. It's most extraordinary.
However, I would be lacking in my duty if I did not make some effort to defend her. I can bring forward no witnesses, but I propose to show that the case the Crown has put forth is not so watertight as my colleague would have us believe. When we consider that these two women were alone on the farm when this unknown tramp arrived, is it not possible that, afraid of what he might do, perhaps he had previously threatened one or the other, and in self-defense...
That is a lie!
Order! Order!
The court will come to order. Prisoner, you've come to this court and pleaded not guilty to the crime of which you are accused. You've given your counsel no information on which to base his defense. If you've now changed your mind, then the court will consider adjourning while you consult.
I want no adjournment or consultation.
You must show the court respect.
I mean no disrespect. But I would like to tell my story in my own way.
You wish to enter the box and make a statement?
Yes, sir. I will tell you what happened that night. I will tell you everything. You see, I knew this man, the man who was murdered. I held that gun that killed him. It was these hands that fired the shot, but I am not guilty. Not guilty.
Order! Order!
The public hearing will remember this is a court of law, not a circus. You will enter the box and tell your story.
It was late afternoon when he came to the farm. He looked just an ordinary tramp. They often came in to beg for food. I was watching the storm clouds gathering over the hills when I saw him coming. Bella was in the kitchen. I could hear her humming softly to herself as she prepared the dinner. I saw the tramp turn the corner of the house to go to the back door. I heard him knock. I heard Bella go to the door, and I walked to the kitchen as he spoke.
Just some food and shelter, lady. That's all I want.
Well, I don't know about shelter, but I'll give you something to eat.
There's a terrible storm coming up. There ain't no shelter in these hills.
Plenty of caves if you take the trouble to look for them.
Ever spent a night in a cave, lady?
That's enough of your cheek, my man.
Oh, I didn't mean no harm, lady, but it's biting cold in them hills. Wouldn't have to use the barn, would it?
I'll have to ask the mistress about that. It's all right, Bella. You can sleep in the barn.
Oh, thank you, lady. Much obliged.
Tramps often came to our back door. And before we gave them food, Bella always made them wash. He had the tea to get, so I took him out a basin of water. He had taken off his coat, and the old sleeveless sweater he wore was torn and dirty. But as he turned to watch me approach, a sense of dismay came over me. I felt fear like a cold snake around my heart. I gave him the basin and turned to go, and then I saw it. On his right arm, near the shoulder, a scar. A scar shaped like a cross.
Hey, what are you staring at?
A scar. On your arm.
What about it? Ain't nothing.
How did you get it?
Had it for years.
Who is that, Scar? Hey, what's the matter with you? You look scared.
Sorry. Scars, wounds. They upset me. Let's go.
What's the matter with you?
Stella.
Come and sit down here. Let me help you.
No. No, I'm all right.
Well, you don't look it. Looks as though you've seen a ghost.
Don't say that.
What's happened? Did that tramp...
Stella, quickly go outside. Look at that man.
I've looked once.
But look at his arm. His right arm, near the shoulder.
Now, miss, I've got more to do.
Don't argue and don't let him notice. Look at that arm.
Oh, all right. Seems a bit silly to me.
Dear God. It can't be. It couldn't be. After all these years.
Well, I looked.
What did you see?
He's got a scar on his arm, that's all.
Did he notice you looking?
Now, Miss Nora, what's come over you? No, he didn't. I just walked along the veranda and picked up a towel.
But you saw the scar. You did see it.
Of course I did.
Then I'm not going there. Have you ever seen anything like it before?
No. No, I can't say as I have. It's a pretty old wound by the look of it. More like a burn, I'd say.
You're right, Bella. It was a burn. And it is old. He got it when he was a boy. His brother did it. They were playing. They were only children. I saw it happen. I came home crying.
Merciful heavens, I remember.
You know who he is now, don't you?
Can't be. They're dead, both of them.
Are they, Bella?
I don't like this, Miss Nora. Don't let that man in here.
Yes, let him in. 20 years ago, a man was hanged for a murder he did not commit. Tonight, we're going to find out the truth about that murder.
Let the dead stay dead.
But they won't, Bella. They won't stay dead.
Something evil about this. Something evil.
Listen to the wind. Listen. We can't send him away. And the rain. The storm is here. It's an omen. An omen.
Don't talk like that.
We can't get away now. Not as he did 20 years ago. I went inside and waited till Bella had given the man his food. I tried to think, to reason, to picture what must have happened on that night 20 years ago. Oh, I'd done that often enough before, but this time it was different. Here was something too horrible to contemplate. At last, Bella came in.
Well, I've given him some old blankets and he's gone over to the barn.
He didn't recognize you?
After 20 years? Of course not. I can't say as how I'd recognize him either.
Except for the scar.
Perhaps it's not the man.
It must be. I'd never forget that scar.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Somehow I must find out the truth.
Listen, Miss Nora. I've been with you all your life. After your mother died, young as I was, I took care of you. Your father...
My father was kind to you.
He's always brought my own father.
And my father was hanged for a murder he did not commit.
I know.
We are the only two who can prove to the world that he was innocent.
Please don't bring it all up again. It's forgotten. The whole thing is forgotten.
Not by us, Bella. Not by you and me. For 20 years we have remembered. That's why we have lived here. Just the two of us together. So that we could remind ourselves.
But your father's case is in the past. What good can come of bringing it up again?
So that everyone will know that my father was an innocent man. Don't you want that too?
Yes, of course. But I'm afraid. If you tell that man out there that you know who he is, that doesn't mean he'll tell you the story.
I can guess the story. Can't you, Bella?
No, it's too horrible. I won't believe it.
Not more horrible than condemning an innocent man to be hanged.
Wait till morning. I'll go down the hill early and bring the police back. We'll tell them who he is. That's it. We'll tell the police and they can start an inquiry.
He'll be gone before you got back. And maybe the police wouldn't believe my story. No. I must handle this my way.
What if he attacks you when you go out there?
We shall be safe. You see, I'm taking my gun with me. You've always been glad I learned to shoot. Be glad tonight.
What are you going to do?
Hear his story and then I think I must kill him.
of the case of the unknown tramp will follow in a few moments. Meanwhile, your announcer. The court resumes, and the case of the unknown tramp continues. Nora Quinn has once more taken her place in the witness box.
Order! Order! The accused has referred to a murder which took place 20 years ago, and has suggested that a man, her father, was wrongfully hanged for that murder. I consider it the duty of this court to allow the accused to tell us of that other case. I feel it may throw some light on her motives in this present case. The accused will continue her story.
My father was a pastor in the little town of Valewood, which lies on the other side of the hills. We had a farm. Bella was our servant. Close to us was another farm owned by Martin Burns, who lived there with his brother Neil. Martin wanted to marry me, but my father...
My daughter marry you? No, Burns. Such a thought is intolerable. I have a good farm. I'm a good worker. I have told you I will not consider such a thing. But why? I do not like you, Martin Burns. Neither you nor your brother. Oh, Miss Neil's lazy. Drinks a little. Drinks a little. He's a disgrace to the neighborhood, and you are a little better. You've no right to speak like that. I'll speak as I please, Burns. I've been pastor in this town for many years. I've known you since you were a child, and I repeat, I wish to hear no more from you concerning my daughter. You're unfair, Pastor. Neil and I did get into a few scrapes when we were boys. You're a liar and a cheat and a worthless no-good. You old hypocrite. That's enough. So far as you're concerned, I don't want you speaking to my daughter again.
Sir, I'm not good enough for her, eh? Aiming at something better. Someone wealthier. You give yourself some mighty fine airs, Pastor Quinn.
Get out. Leave my premises, you hear? Get out.
Dad, what's the matter?
Get that man out of my sight before
Dad, you're only upsetting yourself. What have you done to him, Martin?
You suppose that we get married?
Me marry you? I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
You heard what my daughter said, Burns. Now get out. And if I ever catch you anywhere near my home or my daughter again, I'll take my stick to you and by...
Father, please. Martin, go away.
All right. But I won't forget how you treated me. I won't forget. And neither will you, Nora Quinn and Pastor Robert Quinn.
That's the way it began. This story that's finishing here in this court today. Began that moment my father ordered Martin Burns away from the house. The whole town knew that the Burns brothers were bitter, cruel, and not to be trusted. But how could we guess the hatred that was in Martin Burns as he walked on the farm that day? We thought no more about it. It was forgotten and not even remembered when Neil Burns came begging help from my father, asking for some work on the farm, swearing to reform if Dad would help him. Dad believed him, and Neil came to work for him. Then one day I returned from the town.
Oh, Nora, I'm glad you're back.
What's the matter, Bella?
It's your father, miss.
What's the matter? Is he hurt? Where is he?
He's in his room.
Oh, I must go and see
No,
him.
don't go to him. He doesn't want to be disturbed.
But what's happened?
It's that Neil. There's a bad one if ever there was.
What did he do?
Provoking your father. The pastor lost his temper.
Oh,
Bella, he'll be ill again. He always is when he loses his temper. And he worries so afterwards. I know. He's in there now with his Bible. And Neil, where is he?
gone.
Took to his heels in a hurry when your father started threatening him.
Oh, thank goodness for that. He's done nothing but make trouble since he came here.
It's a funny thing, Miss Mom.
What, Dad?
Sometimes I think he did it deliberately. Provoking your father, I mean. And that Martin Burns has never forgiven you or your father. I understand every time he goes down to the hotel, he starts threatening you both. Says he'll make you pay for the way you treated him.
You think that Neil came here deliberately to annoy Father?
I don't know. But he came with a purpose, that I do know.
Well, he's gone now. It's all over.
Somehow I don't think so. Somehow I feel that it was a bad day for us the day Neil Burns stepped over our doorstep.
Neil Burns went out of our house, out of our lives. He was never seen again. Within a week they were searching, questioning, wondering what had become of Neil Burns. In that little isolated town 20 years ago, we had no official police force. We rarely needed one. It was some days before they found the remains of the fire. in the little gully behind our farm. I remember that spot so well. I used to play there as a child. Someone recalled seeing the fire the night Neil Burns had disappeared. A figure had been seen standing in the shadows watching the fire burn. The spot had been well covered over, and they started to uncover it. They raked over the ashes. Something glistened in the sunlight.
There's Uncle. That's Neil. And look, there's a wind. Everyone knows this thing. It's Neil. He's dead. He's been murdered, I tell you. And I know who did it. It was Pastor Quinn. He hated us both. He threatened me and he threatened Neil. Everyone knows he did. Pastor Quinn murdered my brother.
My father was arrested inside. In a little town like ours, everyone knew of the quarrels he had with Martin and Neil Burns. The fire was on our farm. But the people loved Father. They knew him as a stern but just man. They didn't condemn him at first. Not until Bella told her story. Poor Bella, she didn't realize.
Yes, he did leave the house that night, the pastor did. I know because I saw him. But he couldn't have murdered that man, I know that. You see, he was walking in his sleep. He did it occasionally. But I know he couldn't have committed the murder. Couldn't have done a thing like that in his sleep, could he? You don't believe me. You don't believe me. But it's true, I tell you, it's true. I wouldn't have told you if I thought you wouldn't believe me. You've got to believe me.
But they didn't. Not the sleepwalking part. They thought she was trying to protect him. Poor Bella. But there was one person who thought she was telling the truth. That was my father. After he heard Bella's story, he thought he must have committed that murder without knowing. My father died believing himself a murderer. Now is my crime a senseless one? Was it wrong to kill the man who did this thing to my father? Wasn't it right that he should die? I killed that tramp, and I'm glad I did.
Order! Order! The court will come to order. I must ask the accused to control herself. I would point out that it is never right for an individual to usurp the function of the court. When justice is to be done, our courts will do it. In killing this man, it would seem that you not only desired to avenge your father, but wished to prove his innocence. Is that it?
When I realized who that tramp was, I knew I could prove that my father had no part in that old murder.
See? Are there any questions, Mr. Casey, that you would care to put to the accused?
If you please, Your Honor. Miss Quinn, you've told us a most unusual, I might even say a most fantastic tale.
It's true, every word of it.
Let's hope so. It's been on oath. It seems to me that by killing this man, you destroyed your evidence as regards that old murder case. Alive, the man could be questioned. Spoken.
Dead, he will speak louder. It was not his words which tell the story, but that scar on his arm. Everyone in Valewood knows that scar. Call anyone from over the hill and they will identify it.
Whatever the idea, the dead man, I put it to you, Miss Quinn, that you killed him. And you are therefore guilty of the crime of murder.
I am not guilty.
Yes, you admit taking this man's life.
Yes?
Yes, Quinn, I find it very difficult to understand you. From your story, I gather that this man, this tramp whom you admit killing, was the man who 20 years ago murdered Neil Burns.
That man with the scar on his arm is Neil Burns.
Order! Order!
How can I be guilty of murdering a man already legally dead?
Miss Quinn, you do not seriously ask us to believe.
I have said, call anyone from Valewood. We all knew Neil Burns. Everyone will identify him.
I must insist on silence in the court. You were sure of this, Miss Quinn?
He told me the whole story before I killed him. He was the shadowy figure seen beside the fire. Oh, it was planned, cleverly planned. While his brother Martin provided himself with an alibi, Neil arranged the fire. He went away that night, taking all Martin's savings with him.
And Martin?
He's dead. He used to send Neil money so that he wouldn't come back to Valewood. When the money stopped, Neil became a wandering tramp. It was fate that brought him to the farm. Fate that brought that storm. I knew that someday I'd be able to tell my story, and I've done it. I've done it.
Please, control yourself.
Control myself. Keep calm. I waited 20 years for this moment, and it's come. I've cleared my father's name. It wasn't easy. Dear God, it wasn't easy to kill him. He looked at me just before he died. His eyes staring at me. Don't let him look at me. Don't die. Don't
They carried Nora Quinn from the courtroom. For weeks she lay desperately ill. She's still desperately ill. But she's quieter now, perhaps happy. It's hard to tell. But she will spend the rest of her days in an insane asylum, with Bella Lomas as her only visitor and friend. Her strange story was investigated and proved to be true. And in the little town of Valewood, just over the hills, there's a new stone over an old grave. Its inscription reads, "Under this stone reposes Robert Quinn, who suffered unjustly for a crime he never committed, victim of a foul plot, unhappy sport of blind justice."
The court is adjourned.
The judge departs. The jury is discharged. The judgment has been given. Another human story is over until the law of the land is challenged again. And we are privileged to hear once more at this time, Dramas of the Court.
Dramas of the Court. We present the dramatic story of our court, where daily the unbiased administration of justice is dealt to rich and poor alike. These dramatizations in fictionized form are typical of the human interest dramas that daily crowd our courts. Tonight, an alibi that went wrong.
Gentlemen of the jury, the administration of good government is based upon a sound judicial system. In considering the case before you, weigh carefully all the evidence and be convinced beyond all reasonable doubt of the guilt or innocence of the accused before delivering your verdict.
The People versus Charles Wilmore.
The jury's been out a couple of hours now, and Charlie's not looking as happy about it as he might. There's no question of acquittal. It's just a matter of whether their verdict's going to be manslaughter or murder. What they decide is going to make a big difference to Charlie, of course, but not to me. Whichever way it goes, Charlie's going to be out of circulation for a long, long time. And that's all that counts as far as I'm concerned. You see, I'm the cop who put him in the dock. My part of the job's just about over now. So I can afford to relax and think back. Piecing the story together, it all began one evening about a year ago in the Kit Kat Club, where Charlie was having a quiet drink. Well, having a drink anyway. The Kit Kat was a cabaret of sorts, which meant it had a floor show of sorts. Usually Charlie wasn't what you'd call an avid fan of the terpsichorean art, but this night it was different. And as soon as the music was over,
Hey, Gus.
Hello, Charlie. Enjoying yourself?
In this dump, what do you think? Tell me, Gus, who's the new blonde you got in the chorus?
Not bad, eh? She can even dance a bit.
I would know about that. What's her name?
Why do you want to know?
I just want to know, that's all.
Eva Courtney.
When she's changed, tell her to come over here and I'll stand her a drink.
Maybe she won't want to come.
Tell her I said so.
Maybe she won't want to come all the more.
Listen to me.
All right, take it easy, Charlie. I was only joking. I didn't know you were interested in blondes.
I'm not.
But, I see. Just this special one, eh?
Yeah.
But a strictly business proposition to put to her, I suppose, huh?
That's right.
That's not a very original line, Charlie, but I'll tell her anyway.
maybe it wasn't a very original line. But in Charlie's case, it happened to be true, as Eva Courtney found out a few minutes later.
Is this on the level, Mr. Wilmore?
Strictly, Miss Courtney.
What's made you pick on me?
Well, I'm a pretty good judge of character. I knew you were the right one the moment I spotted you. You're intelligent.
Thanks.
You know your way around, and you can keep your mouth shut. You've had to battle quite a bit, and you're not likely to turn down a soft cup when it's served up to you.
You must have been reading my letters. Let's just run through the whole thing once more, shall we?
Haven't you got it clear yet?
Well, I want to be sure. I move into this high-class apartment you're talking about.
Right.
You pay the rent and give me an allowance of $50 a week.
Right.
And once in a while, on due notice, you drop in for an hour to pass the time of day.
Right.
And we just sit and play double patience while you're there?
Personally, I prefer gin rummy. Oh, we could read a couple of good books.
And no other strings attached?
No other strings. Frankly, Miss Courtney, I'm not the romantic kind. In my line of business, I can't afford to be.
Just what is your line of business, Mr. Wilmore?
You're smart enough to find out sooner or later, so you might as well know now. Did you read the papers this morning?
Yeah.
Did you read about the safe-breaking job at the Producers Cooperative Warehouse?
Yeah.
Do you remember about 10 days ago, another safe went off at the Acme Carrying Company?
Yeah.
Well, now you know. And you're the only one who knows. I always work alone. You see, I'm trusting you right from the start, Miss Courtney.
Aren't you taking a chance?
I don't think so.
And where do I come in on this?
Can't you guess?
Yes, I think I can. I'm to be your alibi, is that it?
That's it. I said you were smart. I line up a job, see? After the show, I call for you here at the club. We go home together. There's an all-night porter at these apartments. We say hello to him as we go in. Maybe I don't even go up to your apartment. Maybe I just slip out the back way. I do the job, return, sneak in through the back, and go out the front. I see the porter and say good night as I go out.
Sounds simple.
It's so simple, it's foolproof. The porter says he saw me go in at 1 o'clock and come out at 2:30. You say I was in your apartment for that hour and a half having a drink and supper. As I've told you, I work alone, so no one knows different. It just can't fail.
But suppose it did. I'd be in a spot with the police, wouldn't I?
For a free apartment and $50 a week, it's worth the chance, isn't it?
There's another thing, too. You realize, of course, what people are going to think.
Do you care about that?
Not particularly.
Then, what's the odds?
As you say, what's the odds?
Then you'll do it?
Why not?
Good. Shake, partner.
course, it didn't take us long to guess the setup. Every time a safe went off, we made a routine check. But Charlie was always in the clear.
Last night, Lieutenant? Why, I was visiting a dame I know. She's a dancer at the Kit Kat Club. Now and then I pick her up after the show and we go home to her apartment for a bite of supper. Oh, strictly on the level, you understand. I wouldn't want you to get the wrong idea about her. We're just good friends. If you want to check her name...
I know. Eva Courtney. Just friends, eh? I suppose that's why you pay the rent.
Oh, that, well, you see, she doesn't earn much money. And on account of her father and mine are old college chums.
Did they both share the same cell?
Hey, listen, you...
All right, all right. Well, it's a good line you've got onto, Charlie. But don't overwork it. It might backfire on you one of these days.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Think it over. So long, Charlie.
So long.
Well, that's the way it went on for 6 months or more. We were morally certain what the setup was, but we couldn't prove a thing. And it might have still been going on now, only something happened. A young fellow by the name of Andy Summers strayed by mistake into the Kit Kat Club one night, saw Eva Courtney dancing, and fell head over heels in love with her on the spot. And to complicate things further, Eva fell for him, too. Well, you can guess what happened next.
It's no good, Charlie. I can't go on.
What do you mean?
It's Andy.
What about him?
We're in love with each other.
Well, that's all right with me. Your private life's your own, so long as it doesn't interfere with business.
But don't you understand? Everyone thinks that you and I...
Oh, I get it. He's jealous of me, is that it?
Well, he doesn't know about you yet, but he's bound to find out sooner or later. He's already a bit puzzled how a girl in my position can run to an apartment like mine, and it won't be long before he's asking awkward questions.
All right. Let him ask. You don't have to explain.
That's just it. You see, he wants to marry me.
What?
And I want to marry him, too.
You're kidding.
No, this is the real thing, Charlie. Andy's all I've ever dreamed of. This is my one chance to get away from the kind of life I've always known, and I'm not going to miss it.
What's he do? What's his job?
He's a garage mechanic.
Has he got any money?
Not a cent.
And you mean to say you're prepared to give up all this? Your apartment, your allowance, your job?
I told you, Charlie, I love them.
You can't do it either. What about me?
I'm sorry, but my mind's made up.
Listen, honey. Everything's been strictly business between us, but I've treated you pretty right, haven't I?
Of course you have.
Then I'm asking you, as a friend, to stick by me just a little longer. I got 2 or 3 jobs lined up in the next couple of months. The biggest I've ever tackled. I've been organizing them for some while. Now, if I can pull them off, I'm set for life. Without you, I wouldn't have a chance. Please, Eva, just a little while more.
I don't know what to do.
6 weeks, that's all I ask. And at the end of that time, a little wedding present. $5,000. Think what you could do with $5,000 when you're married. What do you say?
Well,
Even if he does start asking questions, you can stall him off for 6 weeks. It's worth trying, isn't it?
All right, Charlie. I'll do it.
With so much at stake, you can bet Eva did a pretty neat job of stalling. It must have been rather like sitting on the edge of a volcano. But as the days turned into weeks, she began to kid herself everything was going to be all right. And it almost was, too. Charlie had pulled 2 of his jobs, and there was only one to go. And then one night late, he turned up at the club and called Eva over.
This is it, honey. The final flutter.
Not tonight, Charlie.
Yeah, tonight. I got the whole thing taped. Tell Gus you're leaving and we'll go right away.
No, I can't. Please, any other time but tonight.
What's the matter with you?
You should have given me a day or so's notice. Don't you understand? Andy's coming here to pick me up tonight. He's due any minute.
You'll have to put him off.
I can't.
You'll have to.
Please, Charlie. If he finds out now, it'll mean the end of everything. Make it tomorrow night or the night after.
I tell you, it's tonight. Don't you realize this is the big cleanup, the grand finale?
Oh,
What's the matter?
here he comes. Oh, hello, Andy.
Hello.
Andy, this is a friend of mine.
A certain Mr. Wilmore, I presume?
Oh, you've heard?
Yeah. I've heard quite a lot. Only I didn't believe it till now.
Hey, just a minute, pal. You've got Eva all wrong.
Have I?
We're just friends, that's all.
Well, of course, Andy. You don't think...
I don't think anything. I just let the facts speak for themselves.
You don't have to go off the deep end just because I happen to have dropped in and bought Eva a drink.
I don't know why I don't sock you on the nose.
I wouldn't try any rough stuff if I was you, pal.
Don't call me pal. Eva, I'm going home now. You coming?
Well,
Eva's staying here with me.
Please try to understand, Andy.
I understand, all right. Good night. And goodbye.
Andy!
Let him go, honey. He'll be all right in the morning.
We'll return in just a moment to continue our story. But first, a word from our announcer. We resume our story, An Alibi That Went Wrong.
It wasn't Charlie's lucky night. After Andy had made his exit from the club, he and Eva went home to her apartment to set his alibi. And then he went off to his job. There was a watchman to cope with, but Charlie had everything timed to the minute as usual. Only on this occasion, his timing went wrong. Just as he got the safe open, he heard a noise and reached for his gun. Next second, there was a click of a light switch.
Stick 'em up. Stick 'em up. I've got you covered, guys.
Got to get out of here. Got to get out.
The old man was dead when we got there. Now, safe-breaking's one thing, and murder's another. We'd suspected Charlie of earlier jobs, but we'd never been able to prove anything. This time, it was different.
You think it was Charlie Wilmore, Lieutenant?
I'm certain of it.
Well, I sent out a general alarm. He shouldn't be hard to pick up.
Yes, I suppose you'd better. No, wait. Charlie's too shrewd to try to run for it. He'll be there when we want him.
With his alibi, I'll bet.
Yes, that's the whole point. We'd be wasting our time trying to take him in. We've got to break that alibi of his first, or we haven't got a chance.
That's not going to be easy.
No, but it's got to be done. You take charge here. I'll see you back at the station later, perhaps.
Where you going, Lieutenant?
To have a talk with a woman named Eva Castanet.
You'll get nothing out of her.
Maybe not, but there's no rule against trying. Eva Courtney's apartment was only one place I called at that night. By the time I'd finished, it was 8 o'clock next morning. I snatched a cup of coffee at a little cafe and then called to pay my respects to Charlie. He was home all right, as I'd guessed he would be. He was in pajamas and dressing gown, and he'd just finished breakfast and was reading the morning paper when I came in.
Sit down, O'Neill.
Thanks, Charlie.
What can I do for you?
You read the papers yet, Charlie?
Yeah.
There was a safe-breaking job at the Central Tire Company's office.
So I see. The watchman was shot, it says. That's bad.
It's going to be bad for someone. We don't like murder very much.
Who does? The paper says it happened at 25 to 2.
Yes, that's right. We were able to find a couple of witnesses who heard the shot.
That should make it easy for you. All you have to do now is to find someone who can't explain where he was at that particular time. And you've got your man.
Yes, that's all. It shouldn't be any trouble at all. By the way, Charlie, what did you do last night?
You don't mean to say you think I did this job, do you? I never shot a man in my life.
No, of course not. Just a routine check, you understand. Well?
From what time?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's start at, say, midnight.
Well, at midnight, I was in the Kit Kat Club having a drink with a friend of mine.
Miss Courtney.
That's right. How did you know?
I guessed. And afterwards?
Gus, that's the fellow who runs the club, said she could go early, so we left together about 12:30. We took a taxi to Miss Courtney's apartment, 56 Winchester Court.
And then?
I was a bit peckish, so she suggested I go in for a snack of supper.
What time was this?
About 1:45.
So you went in and had supper.
That's right.
And I suppose you stayed a while?
Well, we're old friends, you know. We got to talking, and before we realized it was 3 o'clock.
You left then?
That's right.
Apart from Miss Courtney, is there anyone who can verify these times?
Yeah. Tony, the hall porter. He saw me come in and go out. You can check with him if you like.
As a matter of fact, I have.
Then why ask me all these questions?
I just wanted to hear the story from you as well. During the time you were with Miss Courtney, did you have words?
How do you mean, words?
An argument.
No. Why should we argue? We're old friends. We always get on very well together.
But you did have words with a certain young man at the Kit Kat Club, didn't you?
Oh, you mean Andy Summers?
That's right.
Well, I did have to tell him off a bit. He's been hanging around Eva, Miss Courtney, and making a nuisance of himself, so I warned him off. There was nothing to it, really. I just told him to beat it, and he did.
Would I be right in saying you were jealous of this fellow Summers?
Why should I be?
Quit stalling, Charlie. Isn't it a fact that when you went in her apartment, you accused her of two-timing you and...
Hey, what is this, anyway?
You couldn't have read your paper very carefully, Charlie, or perhaps yours is an early edition. Here, take a look at mine.
I don't get it.
Right on the front page. A little item in the top press, printed rather appropriately, I think, in red ink.
Dancer found shot in apartment. Early this morning, the body of Eva Courtney... I don't believe it.
Do I have to take you round to the morgue and let you see for yourself? No one heard the shot, Charlie, but the doctors fixed the time of death at between 1:30 and 2:30, and her wristlet watch broke when she fell, and that stopped at 1:47. You were in the apartment, you say, from 1:45 till a little after 3.
No, I must have been mistaken about the time.
Aren't you forgetting Tony, the hall porter?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't.
Somebody did.
It must have been Andy Summers. He was jealous of her. He must have gone to her apartment after he left the club.
The only person who went to her apartment was you. It's no good, Charlie. You're in, right up to your neck. It's now my duty to arrest you on a charge.
No. Wait.
Well?
Give me time. Give me time to think.
I'll give you just 10 seconds. And don't try to do anything else but think, because I've a gun and it's loaded.
I know when I'm licked. You know the law pretty well, O'Neill. This watchman at the tire company.
What about him?
Would that be murder or just manslaughter? I mean to say, it wouldn't have been premeditated, would it? He just caught whoever was doing the job, and they both went for their guns, and the other fellow was faster. He didn't actually mean to kill him, but just to put him out of action.
Was that how it happened, Charlie?
I don't know. I'm just supposing. What would a jury say to that? Would they break it down to manslaughter, do you think?
I don't know.
But there would be a chance, wouldn't there?
Yes. There's bound to be a chance.
All right. I'll tell the truth.
Not here, you won't, Charlie. If you've any statement to make, you can make it at the station before witnesses. And I'll have it typed and you can sign it. Come on, let's go. At the station, Charlie spilled the whole works. His meeting with Eva Courtney, his proposition, her acceptance. He listed every job he'd done under cover of her alibi. And he told us all about the previous night's affair in the tire company.
I didn't mean to kill him. I give him a word of honor. I never killed anyone before. I've never even used a gun before. But it was all so sudden, and I suppose I lost my head. Even after I'd got away, I still thought I'd only wounded him. And it wasn't until I read the newspaper this morning I realized he was dead.
Is that all, Charlie?
Yes, I don't think I can say anything else.
I don't think you have to.
There you are, Lieutenant.
Thanks. Sign here, Charlie.
Yeah, of course. There.
Good.
You do believe I wasn't in Eva Courtney's apartment at any time last night, don't you?
Of course I believe you.
Then what about this fellow Summers?
What about him?
Well, it must have been him. They'd had a quarrel, you see. It couldn't have been anyone else. Aren't you going to arrest him?
That won't be necessary.
You mean you got him already?
No, I mean there's nothing he could be charged with.
I don't get it.
There was no shooting in Eva Courtney's apartment last night, Charlie. She's as alive as you and I are.
Yeah, but the report in the paper only.
That's the beauty of having friends among the gentlemen of the press. Only one copy of the Clarion carried that stop press item. By special request, it was set up and printed for me. The jury's coming back now. There's a hush in the court as they file in. Charlie's standing in the dock. He's looking very white. The foreman's standing now, reading from a little bit of paper.
We find the prisoner, Charles Wilmore, not guilty of murder, but guilty of manslaughter.
Well, I'll be darned. Charlie's gone and fainted.
In a moment, I'll return with further news of these real-life dramas of the courts. But first, your announcer.
The court is adjourned until next week.
Be listening next week, same time, same station, when we present another real-life story in Dramas of the Court. Dramas of the Court. We present the dramatic story of our courts, where daily the unbiased administration of justice is dealt to rich and poor alike. These dramatizations in fictionized form are typical of the human interest dramas that daily crowd our courts. Tonight, the clue of the ballpoint pen.
Gentlemen of the jury,
The administration of good government is based upon a sound judicial system. In considering the case before you, weigh carefully all the evidence and be convinced beyond all reasonable doubt of the guilt or innocence of the accused before delivering your verdict.
The Crown versus Rodney Archer and Jane Williams.
If it hadn't been for the chief's intuition, as he calls it, I would never have been on the case in the first place. The chances are, though I say it myself, the truth would never have come to light. It just goes to show how unlucky some people can be. The whole thing began, as far as I was concerned, one morning when the chief called me into his office.
Hartwell, I want you to take a run down to Hazelwood.
What's happened, Chief?
There's been a car smash. A fellow named Leonard Williams crashed his bus through a safety fence down a 200-foot embankment onto the main South Road between Hazelwood and Fenchurch.
Rather careless of him, wasn't it? When did he do this?
Sometime last night, apparently. But the wreckage wasn't discovered until early this morning.
Was he alone in the car?
No. His was the only body they found.
Oh, any suggestion of foul play?
Not really. At least the local police seem quite sure it was an accident.
Well, then why not leave it to them?
Normally I would. But somehow I've a suspicion there's more in this than meets the eye.
Another of those hunches of yours, eh?
Well, call it that if you like. It seems a letter was found in the dead man's pocket.
Oh, well, what kind of a letter? Suicide note?
No, nothing like that. It was written to him by his wife. It said that... Oh, well, never mind. Never mind about that now. You'll see it for yourself when you get there.
Well, do I have to go, Chief? If you only knew how I hate traipsing all over the country.
Oh, nonsense. It'll be as good as a holiday. I shall expect a report tomorrow.
Well, don't be surprised if it consists of one word. Washout. I wasn't optimistic as I drove down to Hazelwood, and I had no cause to feel any different when I got what they knew of the story from the local sergeant of police.
I don't think there's any question it was an accident, sir. The tire marks tell the whole story. Mr. Williams was heading towards a bend at what I'd say was a pretty high speed. Just as he was about to make the turn, his near side wheels skidded in a patch of gravel. The car hit the safety fence broadside on and crashed through it and down. Mr. Williams was rather badly smashed up when we found him.
Tell me about this man Williams. He lived here in Hazelwood?
Yes, he'd been here in Hazelwood.
Well, what did he do?
He's an author. I mean to say, was. I keep forgetting he's no longer with us.
Married?
Yes.
Does his wife know?
Not unless she's read it in the papers.
Oh, you mean to say you haven't told her yet?
No, sir.
Why not?
Maybe this letter will explain, sir. We found it in Mr. Williams' pocket.
Oh, yes, the letter. Len, by the time you read this, Rodney and I will be in Fenchurch. It wouldn't do any good to try to follow us. I'm sorry the break had to come like this, but it's been imminent for a long while. Rod was all for waiting until you came home and then telling you, but I couldn't stand the thought of another row. So I persuaded him to take me away tonight. You can be sure we won't defend any divorce action. Jane. So that's the story, eh? Yeah. This letter isn't dated. When was it written?
Last night, sir. It seems Mr. Williams had gone up to London for a writers' convention or something like that. From what I can gather, he came home a day earlier than expected. Mrs. William and Mr. Archer must...
Who is Mr. Archer?
The gentleman referred to in the letter as Rodney, sir.
Yes, I assumed that, but who is he?
He's an artist, sir. A painter.
He lives here in Hazelwood, too?
Yes, sir. He and Mrs. Williams have been friends for several years.
Is he married, too?
Oh, no, sir, no, sir. He lives in a cottage just out of town with an elderly housekeeper, a Mrs. Moffat.
I see. Well, go on. You were about to say...
It appears, sir, that Mrs. Williams and Mr. Archer must have just left a few minutes before Mr. Williams got home.
Well, how would they have gone to Fenchurch? By train?
No, sir. In Mr. Archer's car. Anyhow, he found the note, realized they couldn't be far ahead of him, and set out in his own car to catch them up.
And presumably dissuade Mrs. Williams from running away.
Yes, sir. That would explain why he was traveling at such a high speed and was perhaps less careful than usual.
Yes, of course. And he never did catch them.
No, sir.
Presumably then Mrs. Williams and Archer are in Fenchurch now.
Yes, sir. We've notified the police there. I should think they're bound to turn up very soon.
We'll have them brought straight here when they do get back. I'd like to talk to them both.
Very good, sir.
Now, Sergeant, this belief of yours that Williams was chasing after his runaway wife, is this just a theory, or are there any facts to support it?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it at all, sir. I had a look through the Williams home this morning. There's quite clear evidence that Mrs. Williams had packed a few clothes in a hurry.
Yes, and of course we know that Williams must have gone home, or he wouldn't have found the note.
Quite, sir, quite. And in addition to that, his overnight bag is in the front hall by the doorway, and his attaché case is on the writing desk in the sitting room. And then, of course, sir, there's the evidence of the level crossing keeper.
Oh? Well, what's that?
Well, sir, just before the main south road goes into the hills, there's a railway level crossing. After midnight, the gates are kept closed, and motorists who want to go through have to blow their horns, and the crossing keeper then comes out and opens them.
And he actually saw Williams?
He saw both of them, sir. He's outside, sir, if you'd like to talk to him.
Good. Call him in.
Very good. Will you come in here, please, Mr. Endicott?
How much longer do I have to stay here, Sergeant?
Only a few minutes. This is the man, sir. Walter Endicott. This is Detective Sergeant Hartwell from London.
How do you do, Mr. Endicott?
Glad to know you, sir.
Sergeant Keene's been telling me that you saw both Mrs. and Mr. Williams last night. Is that so?
Aye, leastways, I presume it was her, and I'm sure it was him.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just as I was about to close the gates at midnight, Mr. Archer's car drove through. I recognized it was his, because many's the time I've had to get out of bed in the early hours to let him through. Last night they went through at such a rate I didn't properly see what was what. All I could be sure of was that there were two people in the car.
A man and a woman.
Well, I couldn't even be positive as to that, sir. It was Mr. Archer driving.
Oh, you actually did recognize him?
Not by his features, sir, but by his hat. It's a sort of big floppy one, and he always wears it at a jaunty angle.
Oh, I see. And then?
Well, about 5 minutes later, a car pulled up and tooted. I went out, and so was Mr. Williams's car. I opened the gates, and as he was driving through, he called out, "Have you seen Mr. Archie's car?" So I shouted back that he'd gone through a little while earlier.
Did he answer you?
No, he just waved his arm and shot forward like he was a Brooklands or somewhere.
Did you catch sight of his face at all as he went past you?
Not very well, sir. Just not to recognize him, as you might say.
Well, you're quite sure it was Mr. Williams?
Oh, quite sure, sir. He's the only gentleman hereabouts with a black beard.
Mr. Williams was what you might describe as a very individual type, sir.
Apparently.
Will you be wanting me for anything else?
No, thanks.
Well, I'll be getting along then. Good day, sir.
I'll get a statement from you later for the inquest, Mr. Endicott.
Well, so much for that.
It all seems perfectly straightforward, don't you think, sir?
Perfectly. Why the chief insisted on sending me down, I haven't the faintest idea. However, now I'm here, I might as well see the thing through. You say this man Archer has a housekeeper?
Yes, sir.
Well, perhaps I'd better have a talk with her.
Right you are, sir. I'll take you to the cottage.
Tell me, Mrs. Moffat, were you aware that Mr. Archer and Mrs. Williams were having an affair?
I wouldn't know, I'm sure. I does me work and minds me own business.
Oh, now, that's no sort of an answer.
You must tell what you know, Mrs. Moffat. It's your duty.
Mr. Archer's always been good to me, and I shan't be the one to get him into any trouble.
Oh, my dear woman, no one's trying to get him into any trouble. We simply want to know the facts.
Well, they did seem fond of each other. But mind you, I never seen nothing wrong, never at any time.
Did Mrs. Williams ever visit here when her husband was aware?
Well, suppose she did. Was there anything wrong in that?
I'm asking you. did she?
Perhaps she did, a few times. But they always behaved in the most proper manner, I'll have you know.
Yes, of course, I'm sure they did. Now, when Mr. Archer left last night, did he pack any clothes and take them with him?
I wasn't there when he left, but I ain't noticed anything missing. I looked specially this morning. How he's going to get on in London with just the clothes he stands
London?
up in.
Well, what makes you think he's gone there?
He told me yesterday he'd be going up today for a couple of weeks to paint a picture.
Oh, what sort of a picture?
A portrait. The Countess of something or other. Real excited about it he was when he got the letter a few days ago. Muffy, he said, this is me big chance. If I can get away with this, there'll be no stopping me. And then, just when he should be making a good impression, off he goes in his old sports things. Oh, maybe that's him now.
I'll answer it. Hello? Yes, this is Keene speaking. They did. They are. Good. Good. All right, we'll be back at the station in plenty of time. Well, they've turned up, sir.
Mrs. Williams and Archie, you mean?
Yes. They saw the paragraph in the paper and reported at once at the Fenchurch police. They're on their way back to Hazelwood now.
Good. I shall look forward to seeing them.
We will return in a few minutes to continue The Clue of the Ballpoint Pen. But first, a word from our announcer. We continue The Clue of the Ballpoint Pen.
I was definitely interested in the case now. There were one or two pertinent questions I wanted to ask Rodney Archer. He and Jane Williams weren't due back in Hazelwood for another hour or so, however, so in the meantime, I decided I'd like to have a look at the Williams house. It was just as Sergeant Keene had described it. Doors and wardrobe drawers in Mrs. Williams' room were still open, and one or two small articles of clothing were still lying on the floor. Obviously, someone had packed in a hurry. Williams' overnight bag was in the front hall, still packed, and his attaché case lay on a writing bureau in the sitting room. I was interested to note that the papers it contained were jammed in untidily, and one or two small articles, such as a couple of pencils, a new typewriter ribbon, and a fountain pen, had spilled on to the bureau. Well, apart from that, there seemed nothing out of place in the house. The runaways arrived at last. Keene introduced us and then said,
Detective Sergeant Hartwell has been sent down from London to take charge of the investigation, so I'll let him ask the questions.
Well, Detective Sergeant, if there's anything we can tell you at all, of course you understand it's been a very great shock to Mrs. Williams. To both of us, in fact.
Yes, I imagine it has been. However, there are one or two points. Now, I understand you didn't expect your husband home until this morning, Mrs. Williams.
That's right. He said the conference probably wouldn't end until late last night, that he'd stay overnight and come down in the morning.
Why did he change his mind?
I don't know. Perhaps the conference ended sooner than he'd thought.
And so when you wrote this note to him, you didn't expect he'd read it till today, by which time you and Mr. Archer would be in Fenchurch.
Yes, that's so.
Now, the evidence we have suggests that Mr. Williams returned home sometime before midnight, read the note, and at once set off in pursuit of you.
You've summed it up very well. That seems to be the only logical conclusion.
Yes, well, actually, he must have missed you only by a few minutes. Did you have any idea he was close behind you?
No. Why should we?
Well, there was such a little gap between your leaving the house and his reaching it that I thought you might have seen his car arriving as you drove off.
No, we didn't see anything like that.
No, the first thing we knew about it all was when we read a paragraph in the noon edition of the Fenchurch paper telling about the accident.
Yes, that's so, Jane. And, of course, as soon as we read it, we went straight to the police.
Of course. Tell me, was this elopement of yours planned, or did it just happen?
Well,
Jane, would you let me answer that? Mrs. Williams and I have, well, we've known we loved each other for some months. I've no wish to say anything against Leonard, but, well, he wasn't a particular success as a husband. And we knew that sooner or later we'd, well, have to make a break for it.
Go on, please.
I came round here to the house last night and told Mrs. Williams that I was determined to force a showdown. When Leonard came home this morning, she begged me not to, as she'd had more unpleasant scenes than she could stand. And when she saw that I'd made up my mind, well, instead she persuaded me to take her away at once.
It was cowardly of me, I know, but...
And it was also cowardly of me. I should have stayed behind and faced the music, but... Well, there it is.
So you packed a few things, Mrs. Williams, and wrote this note to your husband, and then you went off together.
Yes.
Oh. So that's all you can tell me?
Yes.
So that's why you went off, Mr. Archer, without taking any clothes or other belongings of your own?
Yes.
Well, it would have been a simple matter, wouldn't it, to have stopped at your cottage on the way and packed a few things?
Well, we were in a hurry to get away.
Yes, but as far as you knew, there was no great urgency. As far as you knew, Mr. Williams was still in London, wasn't he?
Yes, of course, but... Well, once we'd taken the plunge, our one desire was to get away from Hazelwood as quickly as possible. It wasn't that we feared pursuit, it was... Well, I suppose a sense of guilt.
As a matter of fact, I did suggest to Rodney he might need some things, but he said it didn't matter.
Oh, I see. Tell me, Mr. Archer, you're a painter, aren't you?
That's right.
A successful one?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I've been trying hard for a long while to make a name for myself, but it's not easy, you know.
No, I suppose not. Ability's one thing and recognition's another.
Yes, that's about it.
And so when you got this commission recently from the Countess of... Oh, what's the name again?
The Countess of Nor. You've heard about that too, have you?
Yes, your housekeeper mentioned it.
Oh, I see.
So that when you got this commission, Mr. Archer, this very important commission, you must have felt that you were really getting somewhere at last.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But you said at the time, this is my big chance. If I can get away with this, there'll be no stopping me, now didn't you?
Well, I probably did say something like that.
You were to go up to London to begin the portrait today, I understand.
Today, yes. That was the arrangement.
Well, did it occur to you last night when you were insisting on a showdown with Mr. Williams that if you weren't able to keep your appointment with the Countess, you'd probably lose the commission and forfeit your big chance of success?
No.
Not at all.
Well, perhaps it did pass through my mind, but I didn't give it a second thought.
Well, why not?
Well, because Jane's welfare and happiness are much more important to me than anything else.
Yes, but surely there was no such urgency about it that you felt called upon to sacrifice such a vital step in your career. I mean to say the situation wasn't new. It existed for at least some months. Now, couldn't you have continued your relationships as they were for just another couple of weeks until you'd finished the Countess's portrait?
No, I couldn't. I had to get Jane away at once.
Well, why?
Well, I just had to, that's all. The situation had become intolerable.
And you mean to say you jeopardized your whole career?
What are you trying to make out of this?
I'm not trying to make anything, Mr. Archer. I'm merely attempting to get at the truth.
But we've told you the truth.
I don't think so, Mrs. Williams.
What do you mean?
Shall I tell you what I think happened? I don't think either of you had any intention of going away last night or today. I think you were together in this house, that Mrs. Williams' husband came home unexpectedly and found you here.
Pure supposition. It's a lot of nonsense.
Well, I think there was an angry scene, then a fight. I think you hit Williams and he fell. He probably struck his head on something, and when you tried to bring him to, you discovered he was dead. You thought for a while of going to the police, and then you became afraid you might be accused of murder. So then you worked out a plan.
That's not true.
You, Mrs. Williams, packed a few clothes to make it seem your departure was premeditated. And then you wrote this note and put it in your husband's pocket.
No.
Then, Archie, you carried Williams out and put him in the front seat of your car. Mrs. Williams tucked her hair up, put on your coat and hat, drove off pretending she was you. You rigged up a false beard of some kind, probably with boot blacking, even eyebrow pencil. It didn't have to be very good. Put on the dead man's coat and hat and followed on in his car. At the level crossing, you made a stab at imitating his voice. Again, it didn't have to be good, because the crossing keeper only heard it over the sound of your racing engine.
Well, Detective Sergeant, you seem to know all about it. What do we do next?
On a quiet stretch of road in the hills, Mrs. Williams waited till you caught her up. Then you put Williams back into his own car, with his hat and coat, started it up, steered it from the running board, and drove it straight for the safety fence. It obligingly went into a skid, and just before it crashed broadside into the fence, you jumped clear. Then you cleaned off your disguise, resumed your own hat and coat, and you and Mrs. Williams drove on to Fenchurch.
Very, very ingenious. As a matter of fact, there's only one thing wrong with it.
And what's that?
It's not true, not a word of it.
No, of course it's not. I've never heard anything so ridiculous.
Suppose we let a jury decide as to its truth.
Really? You're going to arrest us?
Of course he's not, Jane. He's only bluffing.
You think so?
You can't prove a thing, and you know it.
Well, now, that's where you're wrong. I've all the proof I want. You see this pen, Mrs. Williams? One of the new ballpoints. Do you recognize it?
It looks like my husband's.
It is your husband's. It's the pen he took to London with him. The pen with which he made notes of speeches at the conference. The pen, Mrs. Williams, with which you wrote this letter. It really was very careless of you, you know. Because if you used your husband's pen, he must have been here, mustn't he?
That's absurd. If she'd used that pen, her fingerprints would have been on it, wouldn't they?
How do you know they weren't?
Well, they couldn't have been.
Because she wore gloves, you mean?
No, because she didn't use that pen at all. Oh, she used mine. I've got a ballpoint, too. Look, here it is. If you don't believe me, look. Right, it's exactly the same way. Same color ink, everything. Yes. No, I distinctly remember lending it to her. So much for your proof.
The same colored ink, perhaps, but not the same ink.
What do you mean?
While I was waiting here for you, I took the trouble of having the ink in the pen and on this note laboratory tested. There's no question whatever that the letter was written by this pen and no other.
I don't believe you.
It's no good, Rod. We might as well tell the truth.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
You were right. Len did come home unexpectedly. But it wasn't just a fight. You see, he had a pistol and he tried to get it out of his pocket and Rod hit him in self-defense. He didn't mean to kill him, I swear it.
All right, Mrs. Williams. I give you the customary warning. Anything you may say will be taken down in evidence against you. And you'd better wait until you've had a word with your solicitor.
Detective Sergeant, what exactly will we be charged with?
Yourself with manslaughter, Archer. Mrs. Williams with being an accessory after the fact. Take them along, Sergeant.
Smart work, I must say, sir. All the same, there's one part of it I still don't understand.
Well, what's that, Sergeant?
The bit about the ink in the pen and on the letter. I was with you all day, and I don't remember you making any tests.
I didn't.
You mean...
And Mrs. Williams was on the verge of cracking. I could see that. It just needed that one little extra touch to make her talk.
So it was all a bluff, eh?
Precisely. A little unethical, perhaps, but highly effective, don't you think?
Rodney Archer and Jane Williams were tried and found guilty of the crimes with which they stood charged. In view of the extenuating circumstances, and particularly of the fact that Williams was the aggressor, Archer received a sentence of only 3 years, and Jane Williams was convicted but released on bond. I will return in just a moment with further news of these real-life dramas of the courts.
The court is adjourned until next week.
Be listening next week, same time, same station, when we present another real-life story in Dramas of the Court. Dramas of the Court. We present the dramatic story of our courts, where daily the unbiased administration of justice is dealt to rich and poor alike. These dramatizations in fictionized form are typical of the human interest dramas that daily crowd our courts. Tonight, The Cruise of the Castanet.
Gentlemen of the jury, the administration of good government is based on sound judicial system. In considering the case before you, weigh carefully all the evidence and be convinced beyond all reasonable doubt of the guilt or innocence of the accused before delivering your verdict.
The case of the people versus Thomas Hand.
This story, from the trial records of the United States grand jury history, is based upon fact. But names have been changed because some of the characters may still be living. The story begins in Boston, in the Circuit Court of the United States. With a relentless examination of the evidence, the District Attorney, Sherman Willis, is addressing the jury.
In this courtroom, you have seen a murderer. For everyone left alive aboard the sailing ship Castanet has appeared in this court to give evidence. The state contends that the murderer now stands there, beside the counsel for defense. You, as jury, have seen the whole ship's company. You must decide who was telling the truth and who was concealing guilt. I want you all to look at the men seated behind me, at the crew of the Castanet, at the man who is charged with this crime, and at the one passenger aboard that ship, James Lukes. I want you to remember the evidence of this man. I want you to see the three-masted barkentine as she sails through the night, her sails square-rigged against the dark sky. I want you to recollect the evidence of the passenger aboard.
My name is James Peter Lukes. I'm 23. I have a weak lung, and I'm aboard this ship for my health. My health? That's rather funny. On this night, Monday, July the 13th, I retired to bed early, and because my door rattles, I've bolted it. I dimly hear Captain Nash come to his cabin, which is next to mine. Then I sleep. I can dimly hear the echoes of the sound that wakened me. It seems like the voice of the captain's wife, the only woman aboard. Then, another sound. Coming from the captain's cabin. I reach under my bunk for the revolver I have there in a case. Then I go to the door. A lamp glows in the chart room. The door of Captain Nash's cabin is open, and I see him sprawled in the doorway and bloodstains on the floor. I run to the door of Mrs. Nash's cabin to call her to aid her husband, but the murderer has been there too. That scream was her death cry.
Such was the discovery of the passenger. He investigated further and found the first mate also dead in his cabin. And then he knew, unmistakably, that aboard the Castanet in the ebbing hours of the first watch was a murdering maniac. With his revolver, he hastened up on deck and found the first mate, Thomas Hann, walking the deck.
Mr. Hann! Mr. Hand. The captain has been murdered.
Captain murdered? No. No.
I'm going to wake Mason, the steward. You better come with me. Who's at the wheel?
Charles Jones. Look there. Look. There's the axe that did it. There on the deck.
I can't see anything.
Here, under this plank.
What's all that noise there?
Oh, that's Mason. Oh, Mason, come forward.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Lukes. Didn't recognize you in the dark. What are you doing up? Hey, and what's the mate got that axe?
This is the axe that did it. This is the axe that killed the captain.
Killed the captain?
Yeah. And I am going to throw it overboard, or the murderer may use it against...
No,
Mr. Hand, too late.
You shouldn't have done that.
It's terrible. The poor captain. Who could have done it?
Whoever did it must be still aboard. We'll go forward and ask the watch. If Charlie Jones has been at the wheel all the time, he may have seen someone. The wheelhouse faces the hatchway over the cabin.
That's a good idea.
Oh, the poor captain. The poor captain.
For heaven's sake, brace up, Mr. Hand.
Oh, I'd have died for Captain Nash.
Charlie. Charlie Jones.
Aye.
Did you see anyone come up that companionway?
Can't see nothing in this darkness. Oh, it's getting lighter now.
The captain and Mrs. Nash and the first mate have all been murdered.
Murdered? They have?
Yes.
The wheel, man, the wheel. You'll have her up into the wind.
Oh, what's to be done now?
Best call all the crew and tell them.
No. Wait till daylight.
Yeah, that might be best. We don't know who's a friend or who's a foe.
Members of the jury, picture that scene. The dawn coming up on that ill-fated ship, finding the crew assembled on deck to hear the dreadful news.
And if anyone knows anything about it, he should say so. Well, now then, we should take those bodies out of the cabins and throw them overboard.
No, that would be bad. Bodies must be taken in as evidence.
And we won't clean the cabin out either. Leave it as it is.
Well, then, what do we do with them?
We could put them in the lifeboat and cover it with canvas.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It'd be proper then to read a burial service.
Yeah. There's an organ below in the cabin and...
All right. Let's get busy.
I'll get the sewing bag from the second mate's cabin. I've been a sailmaker in Liverpool, I have. I'll fix the sewing up.
Gentlemen of the jury, was there ever a stranger scene than this of the crew standing about the lifeboat while the order of the burial of the dead at sea was read? And what was the atmosphere which followed as the Castanet changed course for Halifax, when everyone aboard believed himself in danger, when each man except the murderer feared to sleep? When the fog came down about the ship, blanketing the sea, sealing her inside a threatening gray envelope. Uncertainty bred suspicion.
Mr. Luke, sir.
Yes?
Something I think you ought to know, sir. Charlie Jones, the new first mate, now that Mr. Hand's in command.
Well, what about Charlie Jones?
The night of the killing, he changed his clothes, put on old overalls.
Here he is. Mr. Jones.
What's it now? More talk about murder? We've talked enough of it. Let's make port. How can we in the fog? The fog. Shutting us in. Aye. And those bodies in the lifeboat to bring home to us that the dead are still with us. That's enough on any man's mind, that is.
We'd better talk this over with Mr. Hand and the steward. Then maybe put Charlie Jones in irons.
Mr. Jones, come forward.
When he comes up the companionway, I'll grab him and you clap on the irons, Mr. Mate.
Then we'll have the murder.
We don't know that yet.
What do you want, Mr. Mate?
You!
What's this for?
We think maybe you killed those people.
Oh, no, sure, that's wrong. Send the mate away and I'll tell you for why.
I've no wish to hear. Take him down below.
What have you to say, Charlie?
That night, when I was at the wheel, I heard a noise in the chart room. I looked down through the little window in the hatch of the aft house, and there I seen Mate Ann, striking at the captain.
What? Why didn't you say this before?
And have him kill me? I heard her shriek, Mrs. Nash. Then the mate come up the companion. Holy mother, I was in terror of my life.
Mr. Lukes, if there's anything in this...
The mate should go in irons, too.
Yeah, he threw away the axe and wanted to do away with the bodies.
Yeah.
And he talked a lot of wild talk. Best put the mate in irons for our own protection. We can't take any risk.
Alive on the port bow!
Oh, God be praised. Maybe it's a ship.
Or secure the mate first. Then we can talk about rescue. Down below with you, Mr. Jones. You stay in irons till we make port.
Where's the mate? We've sighted a lighthouse. We're off Beaver Island.
Well, come with me, Mr. Mason. I'll take those spare irons. We're going to arrest the mate. We think he did the murders.
Mate Han?
Yes.
He was sitting on the outhouse deck when I passed him.
You seized him from behind. I'll cover him with a revolver. You ready now?
Yes.
Well, mate Han.
Aye. See them back. Damnation, what does this mean?
Charlie saw you kill the captain.
No, he could not have. I had nothing to do with it.
Hand him to the mainmast.
No, let me go.
If he's innocent, then the law will decide that when we make port.
No.
And I hope to heaven that soon, or we'll all be mad.
We will resume our story, The Cruise of the Castanet, in just a moment. But first, your announcer. We continue our story, The Cruise of the Castanet.
The First Circuit Court in Boston is in the last days of a trial which created extraordinary interest through the United States and became a crime extraordinary in the history of the sea. As the Castanet entered the harbor of Halifax, she towed a boat carrying the dead bodies of her captain, his wife, and his second officer, with her present commander and first officer in irons, and the rest of the crew in confusion and fear, half dead themselves from lack of sleep.
The murder on the high seas, sensational sea killing, when terrorizes brigantines, faith, so read all about it.
And as the newspapers flared the story to the world, the case for the state was piloted forward by the district attorney.
I remind the jury that a grand jury found an indictment against Mate Han, but not against Charlie Jones, who has become a witness for the state. I remind you of the evidence of Charlie Jones, personal testimony, unshaken, damning.
I came to the wheel that night at 8 bells, 12 o'clock. I saw the mate walking the deck. I'd see him for a while, then he'd disappear into the darkness. Then he disappeared for a long time.
And is that when you heard something?
Yes. I heard a noise from the cabin. I looked through the window.
What did you see?
I saw the captain's cot upset. I saw a man's body on the floor. I could see someone standing over him, striking him.
And who was that someone?
Mate Han.
How did you recognize him?
He wore a hat with a hole cut out of the top. I'd seen him wear it before.
Thank you. Your Honors, I tender an affidavit which I've today received from the American consul in London. It encloses a statement from the Commissioner of Police in that city about the witness, Charlie Jones. I should like to read it to the jury, or part of it. Charles Jones is well known to us. He has been a hospital patient suffering from delusions, and during his treatment, when someone entered his room, he discharged a revolver, the shot going through a window. He had some money, and seemed to be abnormally afraid that someone was going to steal it. I put it to the witness. Is that document correct?
That was a long time ago, when I'd finished a long voyage to Liverpool. I was sick, and I had 50 golden sovereigns, and someone did try to steal them. Yes.
Your Honor, I urge that this document indicates the witness has a mania for persecution, that he could behave, in fact, as a homicidal maniac, alone of all on board the Castanet. He is capable of committing this crime. You heard the defense suggest that the witness Charlie Jones could have committed this crime. But the state corroborated the fact that Jones was on duty at the wheel of the Castanet at the time that the murders were committed. We have the evidence of expert witnesses that he could not have left the wheel of the ship. I refer to the evidence of Captain Williamson of the Department of Navigation.
I've been at sea 52 years. Crossed the equator 70 times. Sailed in a brigantine and, well, damn it, about every other kind of vessel.
In case the man at the wheel leaves his post, or if the wheel were lashed for, say, 10 minutes, what would happen to a ship in the circumstances described, Captain?
Well, sailing 8 knots in a fresh breeze with the sea running, the ship would have fallen off in less than a minute. Or else come up into the wind with her sails flapping and darn well wakened every self-respecting sailor aboard, sir.
And what is the duty of the officer in charge of the watch, in this case, Mate Han, if the wheelman deserts his post?
To knock him down, sir. Knock him down.
Thank you. You heard, as I said, this expert evidence. You heard the testimony of the detective Richard Marks, who questioned Mate Han in custody. You heard him tell us that he spoke to the mate in these words.
And we're trying to unravel this horrible mystery. Your position is an awkward one. Charlie Jones has said he saw you do the murder.
He couldn't have seen me.
He states he was at the wheel.
Well, he couldn't see me from there. I think, and many others aboard the ship think the same that Charlie Jones did it himself. Why should I want to do in the captain?
You once boasted to a man named Nicholas, first mate of the schooner White Bird, that it would be easy to kill the ship's captain, seize the ship, and sell it to the insurgents of the rebellion in Cuba. You were second mate on that ship at the time.
Nicholas is talking to his hat. I never said such a thing to anybody. I don't know anything about those murders, nothing at all.
You heard this testimony from the police witness, gentlemen. And then you heard from Mate Han himself. It's always a strong point for the defense when an accused person takes the witness stand in his own defense. We saw this man walk resolutely up the steps. And doubtless you wondered how a man charged with these diabolical crimes would react to questioning. Wouldn't you expect to find him plausible, cunning, calculating in all his replies? Very well, then, let us examine those replies. I asked him, you remember, many questions, but it was left to my learned friend of the defense to explain the meaning of the prisoner's answers.
Mr. Han, at 2 a.m. on the morning of July 14, you said you saw the man named Charlie Jones at the mizzen peak jig, some distance from the wheel.
Yeah. I saw him at the wheel putting on his slippers.
You mean he'd been walking about in his stocking feet?
Yeah. Then later on, I saw Mr. Lukes, the passenger, come up the companionway with a revolver. Then we went down to the cabin and found the captain.
The state has made much of the fact that you seemed in a kind of hysterical condition.
Well, it was the sight in the cabins. I was upset.
Naturally. A most affecting sight.
You see, the captain and I, we belong to the same Masonic fraternity. I would have died for him.
The accused's offer has come somewhat late.
Did you ever quarrel with Captain Nash?
No, we got on very well.
And the captain's wife?
I hardly spoke to her.
I would like to ask you a question about the axe which was thrown overboard. Why did you dispose of it?
Why? Because Mr. Lukes, the passenger, said I should.
You've already heard him testify it was your suggestion.
The poor young fellow, he was very upset and didn't know very well what he was doing. You see, we'd all just, looked on a terrible sight. None of us wanted to appear too smart. Each of us was trying not to show he suspected the other. And when Mr. Luke said, throw it away, well, I obeyed him.
Were you wearing the same clothes from 12 o'clock onwards until daylight?
Yeah, I did not change them.
Did anyone else change clothes?
Yeah, Charlie Jones. Leifrick and Blumgorn saw him.
There were no bloodstains whatever on your clothes.
No.
Did you see any on Charlie Jones' clothes?
Yeah.
Objection! Your Honors, it's already been shown that Jones's clothes were bloodstained, but only after he'd sewn the bodies into canvas for placing in the lifeboat.
I don't need the question. Mate Han, you are on oath. Will you swear that you did not commit any or all of these murders with which you were charged?
I swear I am innocent.
Thank you. Your Honors, the defense rests its case.
Mate Han, did you make this statement to Rufus Nicholas aboard the Whitebird schooner 16 days before you sailed with Captain Nash of the Castanet?
What statement?
If you don't kill this particular captain, let us go aboard a Norwegian vessel where they have fewer men before the mast. Give the crew knockout drops, then kill the captain, and the crew will then obey our orders. Well?
No, of course I did not.
But you were aboard the Whitebird before you joined the crew of the Castanet.
Yeah, I was aboard the Whitebird.
Your Honors, unless this Rufus Nicholas can be produced in court, this kind of evidence is objectionable.
To stand.
Mate Han, I've one last question to ask you. Was it not your intention, in killing Captain Nash, his wife, and the first mate, to pirate the Castanet?
No! I did not touch the captain or his wife or the mate.
Gentlemen, we will probably never know precisely what happened in the cabin of the Castanet on that fateful watch. The defense would have you believe that a homicidal maniac was responsible for the brutal crimes committed, Charlie Jones. But the state feels, and with good reason, that a more cold and cunning mind was responsible for these merciless killings. That one man had opportunity and a motive, and that man is Mate Han.
Jury still out?
Yeah. They said they're taking their 50th ballot.
Any news?
None. Feel confident, Mr. Willis?
Oh, I never feel confident of anything, gentlemen. And this is a case where there's only one example of direct testimony from Charlie Jones. And the defense has suggested he's not responsible for his actions.
Jury's coming back. Where's the district attorney?
Here.
Thomas Han, you have been found guilty by a jury of your fellow citizens. Have you anything to say before passing sentence upon you?
Your Honors, I am innocent of this crime.
We do not see how any intelligent, conscientious, and painstaking jury, having listened to the whole trial and having seen the various witnesses, could have reached any different verdict. It is ordered that the verdict of the jury be confirmed.
Mate Thomas Han was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment, 5 years for each crime. The story of the Castanet found its way into many works of fiction. And of the Castanet herself, well, she became a lady with a past. And under another name ended her life in the Mediterranean, victim of a German torpedo, as violently as the crimes committed aboard her.
In a moment, I'll return to give you further news of this series. But first, your announcer.
The court is adjourned till next week.
Be listening next week, same time, same station, when we present another real-life story in Dramas of the Court.